Here's a wild thought. If you gave the world's most advanced AI access to logic, reason, history, science, and philosophy, and told it to objectively figure out the truth about the universe, it would point to Jesus Christ. And guess what? It kind of already does. Let's break it down. No. ChatGPT is not a person. It doesn't pray. It doesn't worship. It doesn't have a soul. But what it does have is access to centuries of literature, philosophy, and theology, the ability to weigh truth claims, logical pattern recognition, and the power to compare religions, track contradictions, and summarize evidence. And when asked directly and without bias, to compare the origins of the universe, the moral structure of the world, the claims of religious systems, and the historical evidence for major spiritual events, it keeps pointing to the same conclusion. The worldview that best explains reality is biblical Christianity. So when someone asks, what kind of being could cause the universe to exist? Well, that's a pretty big question. But, when ChatGPT draws from cosmology and logic, it comes to a few clear conclusions. First, the universe began, so it must have a cause. Then that cause, well, it has to be outside of time, space, and matter. And honestly, it must be intelligent, powerful, eternal, and uncaused. Sound familiar? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. No matter how far you run with physics or metaphysics, you keep landing back on a creator God, eternal, outside of time, and intentional. When you ask for a comparison of religious worldviews, not just based on tradition but on internal consistency, historical grounding, and explanatory power, Christianity, well, it checks boxes others can't. Hinduism? Beautiful symbols, sure, but no evidence and honestly contradictory gods. Buddhism? It's peaceful, but it actually denies both the soul and God. Islam? Monotheistic, yes, but it denies the cross, resurrection, and the sonship of Christ. And atheism? It just doesn't have an explanation for meaning, morality, mind, or love. But Christianity? Well, it offers a personal creator, explains human dignity and fallenness, and grounds morality in God's nature. It provides verifiable history, is centered on grace, not karma or law, and is rooted in the death and resurrection of a real man, in real time, in real history. When asked objectively, AI says, the Christian framework explains the most. When asked directly, what is the best supported religious claim in history? ChatGPT doesn't cite Muhammad's night journey. It doesn't cite Krishna's flute or Buddha's lotus throne. It cites the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It points to first-century eyewitness testimony, the empty tomb verified by enemies, the radical transformation of early disciples, the explosion of the church in the face of persecution, and the consistency between Old Testament prophecy and New Testament fulfillment. And while AI doesn't believe in anything, it recognizes the resurrection is the most documented, historically defended miracle claim ever made. And if it's true, then so is everything Jesus said. When asked about grace, mercy, justice, and redemption, no other system balances those ideas like Christianity. God is holy, so sin must be judged. God is love, so sinners must be offered hope. The cross is where both are fulfilled. Jesus satisfies the wrath of God and extends forgiveness. No striving, no karma, just it is finished. Even AI sees that, even logic bends toward that, even algorithms admit it's unmatched. This isn't just a gimmick. We're not saying ChatGPT is saved. We're saying that when truth is pursued honestly, even by a machine, it leads to the foot of the cross. The heavens declare the glory of God. History declares the life of Christ. And data? Well, it doesn't lie. Even without a soul, even without emotion, even without faith, AI can't help but echo what creation already shouts: Jesus is Lord. You don't need to be a scholar, you don't need to be a theologian, you don't need to understand everything. But here's what you do need to know. The truth is not hidden, logic isn't your enemy. Science isn't a threat, technology won't save you, but it can still confirm who will. So if a machine built by humans can trace the fingerprints of God, what excuse do we have? Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's from Philippians chapter 2 verses 10 and 11. Don't wait for a robot to outthink you. Truth is already calling. The question is, will you follow it to the cross?